Turn off the lights for a second and imagine going thousands of feet beneath the ocean surface. No sunlight, almost complete darkness, freezing water, and pressure so extreme that a human being could not survive without specialized equipment. But somehow, life doesn't just survive down there, it thrives. And some of the creatures living in that darkness look so strange that at first glance they seem like something created for a science fiction movie. A fish with a glowing lure attached to its head, a shark with a jaw that shoots forward to grab its prey, a fish with a complete transparent shield over its eye, and a predator with a teeth so large that they actually fit into special pockets inside its own mouth. These aren't movie monsters, they are real animals, and we have actually documented them living in the deepest, darkest part of our ocean. But here is the part that makes the deep ocean truly fascinating. We still don't know everything that's down there. So today we are counting down 10 of the most terrifying looking and fascinating creatures ever found in the deep ocean. And we are sticking to what science actually know about them. So welcome to Unknown Depths. This is where we explore the strangest places on earth, uncover fascinating discoveries, and spread real science from internet myths. So if you are fascinated by the deep ocean, unexplained discoveries, and the incredible creatures hiding beneath the surface, you are in the right place. So turn down the lights because we are going deep. Number 10. Vampire Squid. The name alone sounds terrifying. Vampire Squid. Its scientific name is Vampiroteuthis infernalis, a name that roughly translated to vampire squid from hell. But despite its terrifying name, this animal is not the blood-drinking monster its name might suggest. In fact, its diet is surprisingly different. The vampire squid primarily feeds on marine snow, a constant rain of dead organic materials, particles, and tiny organisms that slowly sink down from the upper layer of the ocean. It lives in a part of the ocean called the oxygen minimum zone, where oxygen level can be extremely low, and that makes this creature especially interesting, because while most animals would struggle in such an environment, the vampire squid is perfectly adapted to it. Its body is usually dark reddish brown and it has enormous eyes that can appear blue under certain lighting. But perhaps its strongest defense is what happens when it feels threatened. The vampire squid can turn its webbed arms outward, creating something that looks almost like a dark claw. It can also produce bioluminescent mucus as part of its defense. So despite looking like something out of a horror movie, the vampire squid isn't some unstoppable predator. It's actually a fascinating example of an animal that has evolved to survive in one of the most chilling environments in Earth. Number 9. Goblin Shark. Now let's move from something strange to something that looks genuinely prehistoric. The Goblin Shark. This deep sea shark is famous for its unusual appearance. It has a long flat-necked snout, a plain pinkish body, and a jaw that look almost completely unlike those of a typical shark. But its most incredible feature is the way it hunts when prey gets close enough. The goblin shark can rapidly extend its jaw forward. The movement is extremely fast, and its jaw can reach toward the prey before pulling its back into the mouth. It's one of the strongest feeding adaptations found among sharks. And here another reason this animal is so fascinating. Goblin sharks are usually found in the deep water, often hundreds of meters below in the surface, because humans rarely encounter them alive. Much of what scientists know about their behavior come from specimens and relatively rare observation. The species is also considered part of an ancient shark lineage. That's why you will often hear the goblin shark described as a living fossil. That doesn't mean the animal itself has literally remained unchanged for millions of years. It means its lineage has retained several ancient characteristics compared with many modern sharks. And when you look at its strong body, it's not hard to understand why people find it so fascinating. Number 8. Anglerfish. Now we have reached one of the most famous creatures of the deep ocean, the anglerfish. If you ever seen a deep sea creature in a documentary, that's a good chance you have seen one of these. The feature that makes the anglerfish so recognizable is the glowing lure that extends from its head. But there's the important part. The anglerfish doesn't simply produce the light like a flashlight. It's many deep-sea anglerfish species, the light comes from bioluminescent bacteria, living inside a specialized organ cell on a skull. In the darkness of the deep ocean, the tiny lights become a powerful hunting tool. A potential prey, animals see the glowing point in the darkness, and many move toward it. The anglerfish wait, and when the prey come close enough, the predator strike. It's a perfect example of how evolution can turn an extreme environment into an advantage. But there's something even strange about some deep-sea anglerfish. The male can be dramatically smaller than the females. In several species, the male has evolved to remarkable reproductive strategy. He may attach himself to a female, and some species permanently fuse with her body. His role then becomes primarily reproductive. It's one of the most unusual reproductive strategies now in the animal kingdom, and all of it evolve in an environment where finding a mate can be incredibly difficult. Number 7. Fangtooth Fish. If you are judge a fish by its teeth, the fangtooth fish would probably win. Its body is actually quite small. Adjust are generally only around 15 to 18 centimeters long, but its teeth are enormous compared with the size of its body. They are so large that the lower teeth actually fit into special pockets on the roof of its mouth when the jaw closes. Without those species, the fish couldn't properly close its mouth. And that's not the only unusual thing about it. Fangtooth fish live in deep water, where sunlight becomes extremely limited and actually disappear completely. They have relatively small eyes, which means vision isn't their only way to detecting what around them. Like many deep-sea predators, they rely heavily on sensory systems that help them detect movement and vibration in the surrounding water. Their enormous teeth are unusual for grabbing prey. But despite their terrifying appearance, they are not considered a threat of humans. They are simply another predators, perfectly adapted to its own environment, and that is something you will notice throughout his entire list. Many of these animals look terrifying, but they are not monsters, they are survivors. Number 6. Barreleye Fish. Now prepare to meet one of the strangest looking fish in the ocean, the Barreleye Fish. And its most remarkable feature is something you might not even believe it's real. Its head is transparent. A clear fluid filled dome covers the upper part of its head, and inside them transparent structure. And you can actually see its unusual tubular eyes. For many years, scientists didn't fully understand what the fish was doing with those eyes. But researchers eventually revealed something fascinating. The eyes can rotate. When the fish is looking upward, its eye can point toward the surface. And when it detects potential prey, the eye can shift forward. That's an incredibly useful adaptation in the deep ocean. Imagine living in a world where almost everything around you is dark, and the only faint light available may come from organisms above you. Being able to look upward while still keeping track of what's directly in front of you can be major advantage. The Barreleye fish is believed to feed on small organisms such as jellyfish and other drifting animals. And its transparent head isn't just some bizarre accident, it's a part of a specialized biological system that helps protect its eyes. This is one of those moments where real biology sounds more unbelievable than fiction. Number 5. Frilled Shark. Now we are going to meet a creature that looks like it belongs to another geological area. The Frilled Shark. This animal has long eel-like body. It's usually found in the deep water, often hundreds of meters below in the surface. And unlike many sharks, its body shape is slightly unusual. Its scientific name is Chlamydoselachus ingenuus. The name comes from the fill-like appearance of its 6 pairs of gill slits. And then there are the teeth. The frilled shark and hundreds of small needle-like teeth arranged in multiple rows. These teeth are designed to grip slippery prey. Its diet includes animals such as squids and fish, and its body is capable of a movement that looks almost snake-like. Instead of reeling only the typical swimming motion we associated with sharks, a frilled shark can use its long body to make sudden movement toward prey. It's also important to clear up one popular misconception. You'll often hear the frilled shark described as a creature that remained unchanged for 80 million years. That's an oversimplification. The shark lineage is ancient. But the modern species has its own evolutionary history. Still, when you look at one, it's easy to understand why people describe it as prehistoric. Its unusual body, deep water lifestyle, and rough needles-like teeth make it one of the most fascinating sharks ever discovered. Why do many deep sea animals look completely different from the creatures we are near the surface? The answer is evolution. The deep ocean is an extreme environment. There is little or no sunlight, food can be unpredictable, temperature are low, and pressure increases dramatically as you descend. So over millions of years, different species developed different solutions. Some developed enormous mouth because a rare meal might be their only chance to eat. Some evolved bioluminescence because producing light can be useful for finding prey, attaching meats, or avoiding predators. Others become transparent, making themselves harder to detect in the dim environment. And some developed highly sensitive organs that can detect movement in water when vision isn't enough. These aren't random mountains designed to make animals look scary. They are adaptations shaped by survival, and that's what makes the deep ocean so fascinating. Number 4. Dragonfish. Imagine hunting in complete darkness while your prey has absolutely no idea you are there. That's one of the advantages possessed by the dragonfish. Dragonfish are deep sea predators belonging to the family Stomidae. They may look small compared with many ocean predators, but their appearance hides some remarkable adaptation. Dragonfish can produce light using a specialized organ on their bodies, and here where things become especially interesting. Some species are capable of producing red bioluminescence light. Why is that important? Because red light doesn't travel very far through seawater, and many deep sea animals aren't able to see red light well. So a dragonfish capable of producing red light may effectively have something like a biological flashlight, one that can help it detect prey without making itself as obvious to other animals. It's an incredible example of evolution working with the physical properties of the environment. In a world where almost everything is dark, even the color of your light can become a survival advantage. Dragonfish also have long needle-like teeth and large mouth relative to their body size. Their bodies are designed for one thing: finding and capturing prey in an environment where food can be extremely difficult to locate. And that brings us to another important feature: deep sea life. Opportunity doesn't come often. When food appears, you need to be ready. Number 3. Gulper Eel. Now imagine a fish with a mouth so enormous that it almost looks completely out of proportion of the rest of its body. That's the Gulper Eel. It's also commonly known as the pelican eel. And once you see its mouth, the nickname makes perfect sense. The Gulper Eel has a long, thin body, but its mouth can expand dramatically. Why would an animal need such an enormous mouth? Because food in the deep ocean can be unpredictable. Unlike shallow coastal environment where animals may have access to relatively abundant food, the deep sea can be place of long periods without a meal. So when an opportunity finally appears, being able to swallow a relatively large amount of food can be a huge advantage. The Gulper Eel's mouth can expand, allowing it to take in prey much larger than you might expect from its narrow body. It also has a long tail, and near the end of the tail is a small bioluminescent structure. Scientists believe this glowing organ may help attract prey, but the exact behavior and function can vary depending on the species and observation available, and that's something important when studying deep sea creatures. Scientists doesn't always have a completely answer. Some animals are already observed alive, some are known mainly from specimens, and some behaviors are still being investigated. Number 2. Giant Isopod. Now we are going to the ocean floor, and waiting down there is something that looks like a giant version of an animal you may have seen on land. Meet the giant isopod. If you ever seen a small woodlouse, you already have a basic idea of what an isopod look like. But giant isopod, belonging to the genus Bathynomus, can grow dramatically larger. Some individuals can reach more than 30 centimeters, with particularly large specimens growing even bigger. Their bodies are covered by a hard exoskeleton, and they have multiple pairs of legs that help them move along the seafloor. But what makes them particularly important is their role as scavengers. The deep ocean receives a constant rain of organic materials from above, but occasionally something much larger reaches the seafloor. A dead fish, a larger marine animals, or even part of a whale. When that happens, scavengers can gather around that remains. Giant isopods are part of the deep sea cleanup system, and because large food sources can be rare, they have developed the ability to survive for long periods with little or no food. Some giant isopods have even been observed surviving for extended without feeding in captivity. That doesn't mean they are constantly starving. It means their biology is adapted to an environment where meals are doesn't guaranteed. And this is one of the most important rules of deep sea survival. When food is unpredictable, your body has to be prepared for the next opportunity. Number 1. Black swallower. And at first glance, there are nothing particularly impressive about it. It's a relatively small, dark colored deep sea fish. But then, you see what it can do. The black swallower has an extremely expandable stomach and a highly flexible jaw. The combination allows it to swallow prey that can be much larger than the black swallower itself. We are not talking about a fish that's only slightly bigger. Some documented specimens have been found with prey inside their stomach that were several times heavier than the predator itself. Think about that for a second. A relatively small fish swallowing another fish that's appear far too large to fit inside it. How is that even possible? The answer is extreme flexibility. Its stomach can expand dramatically, allowing the black swallower to take advantage of a rare feeding opportunity. And in the deep sea, that can be difference between survival and starvation. To understand this, you have to understand the environment. Imagine living in a world where food doesn't appear every few minutes. Sometimes you may go a very long time without finding a suitable meal. There are no guarantee that another opportunity will come soon. So when a large fish finally comes within reach, the black swallower has a choice: take the risk or let the opportunity disappear. Evolution has given its extraordinary solution. Swallow as much as you can. Its jaw can expand, its stomach can stretch, and its body can accommodate an enormous meal relative its own size. But this strategy isn't without risk. It's the swallower prey is too large or digestion take too long. The predator can actually die before the meal is completely digested. So the same adaptation that give the black swallower is incredibly advantage can also become a serious advantage. Nature doesn't create a perfect design, it's create trade-offs. And that's one of the most fascinating thing about evolution. The black swallower isn't just a bigger creature we have seen. It's not the fastest, it's not the strongest, and it certainly isn't the most dangerous animal in the ocean. But its body is perfectly adapted to its environment. Think about it. Everything we covered, 10 creatures, 10 completely different adaptations, and one common environment, the deep sea ocean. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Scientists continue to discover new marine species. Deep sea expeditions regularly bring back animals that have never seen observed before, or reveal behaviors that researchers didn't previously understand. And every discovery raises another question: what haven't we found yet? The ocean covered roughly 71% of Earth's surface, and while scientists have mapped the seafloor at increasing level of details, mapping isn't the same of actually exploring every part of it. There are enormous areas that remains difficult to study directly. The deeper you go, the most challenging exploration becomes. Extreme pressure, cold temperature, complete darkness, and enormous distance. Sending a human into those environments is expensive and dangerous. That's why scientists increasingly rely on remotely operated vehicles and autonomous underwater vehicles. These machines can travel into environments that would be extremely dangerous for humans, collect samples, record video, and map area of the seafloor. And every time we send them down, there is always possibility. Now I want to hear from you. Out of all 10 creatures, Drop your answer in comment box, and if you enjoyed this journey into the deep, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Unknown Deaths because there are still countless places on this planet.